Hi CANsters, this is a surprise treat for you. Because of Christmas, I've also learned how to bake Christmas fruit cake. I've done it twice and it is quite good, I must say. So I like to share the recipe with you. And first of most, you have to prepare the dry fruits. And with the dry fruits, I have also I use a very good Jamaican rum. You can use brandy, rum, or even whiskey. But for this time, I chose to use rum. So these are the ingredients. Okay, so we're going to mix. This is the dried mango, maybe 100 gram each. I have prunes all cut up. If it's too much, it's okay. Don't worry about it because you can actually soak it in rum for quite a long time. This will be the dry apricot, the raisins. You can also use the yellow raisins as well. I have here ginger, dried ginger, and with it I would like to add the nuts into it because then soak it in the rum. I feel that the rum flavor will be much better. But in between you can also use some nuts that are not soaked, so then it's crispier. Whereas after soaking it becomes a little bit soft but full of the rum flavor. This almond, and I like this glazed cherries. They give it a lot of color. So with this, you see lots and lots of fruit. So the fruit cake actually is mainly all the dry fruits and whatever you fancy, whatever you have. This round I do not have cranberry, but you can use cranberry. You can also use dried blueberries. I think they're very nice as well. So how much of rum? 180 ml or 3/4 cup. Some recipes do not require it to be soaked, but I find that I love the flavor of the liquor, so I feel that after soaking as well, like the raisins, they all open up. Okay, so with this you're going to leave it in a airtight container at least overnight, if not for a couple of days, or you can even keep the surplus for over a week for your next bake. I will show you the rest of it. Hi guys, thank you. Okay, this is your surprise for you. As I said, this is the Christmas fruit cake. I think it's a joy to bake it because it's so easy and everyone will love it, especially during this time of the year. So let's get started. First, butter. Make sure the butter is at room temperature. I use about 130 grams of butter, and then the brown sugar, 1 cup, but I usually use 3/4 cup instead because the fruits are really sweet and I like to add a lot of fruits in the cake. So I use 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Some recipes use molasses because the molasses will make the fruit cake or any cakes very, very dark, which I personally don't prefer. So because if it's too dark, then the mixed fruits, the colors of the mixed fruits don't stand out at all. So I rather use just brown sugar. 3/4 cup will be enough because otherwise it will be a bit too sweet. Then first we put the butter, we mix the butter and the brown sugar with a hand mixer. So now we will start the beating. You can see the color has changed, then it's a bit fluffy. Then we add in 3 eggs, but each one by one. Second one. And the last egg. It will look something like that, a little bit slushy. That's the way it should be. Okay, and now I will add in the necessary ingredients, which is the important thing is the rum. 2 tablespoons of rum. It's very good for liquor lovers. But if you do not want rum, you can always add just orange juice, okay? But if you are using, for the fruits you are using rum, I think it's better to go with rum in a cake, right? Instead of mixing it with brandy or whiskey. So start with 1 and then you continue with it. Okay, and then about 1 tablespoon of orange zest. And I want it to be really moist because we may need to keep in the fridge for a while. So I add in another tablespoon of freshly squeezed orange juice. Okay, there it is. This is the mixture. So now the dry ingredients. With the dry ingredients, you will sieve 1½ cup of flour, plain flour. Then we have this nutmeg, about ½ teaspoon. Then we have cinnamon, ground cinnamon powder. I like it a bit stronger, so about almost 1 teaspoon. Then I have here ground ginger. It's quite nice with the ginger flavor. And a little bit of allspice. About 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, so with all this, we mix it up. At the same time, sieve it. Okay, and it's done. So we will slowly add it back into the wet ingredients in 2 or 3 batches. Let's mix it up. So if you have any comment after baking, you try this recipe, if you like it, do let me know and see if you really like it. Well, I'm not a professional baker. It's just out of interest, and I know this is a good time for Christmas, so that at least, you know, if you're homebound for whatever reasons, for COVID, whatever, you know, or you like to bake for your loved ones, this is a real easy. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, Christmas is really a time of giving, isn't it? So instead of presents, I think most of us have headache shopping for presents for your loved ones, and this is really something very likable. Everybody likes to enjoy over the table, over after meals, it'll be lovely, or for tea. So it's a really good gift. So in future, you need not buy these expensive fruitcakes from the stores anymore. It's so simple to do. okay. Do not over mix the batter at this point, right? So long the flour is all mixed up, well mixed. That's about it. Okay, and now we add in the stars. Oh, not forgetting also, forgotten about this baking powder earlier. About 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Fruit cake is actually quite heavy, so it doesn't need a lot to fluff it out at all. There's some, be careful, there's some flour at the bottom as well. So give it a good mix. So now the stars is that this lovely fruits, right? They have preserved it. I'm using quite a lot actually, and what you should do is you add a little bit of flour. Okay, let me pour it out and show you. This is quite a lot here already. About, I would say, 6 cups. 6 cups of fruits here. Some people like to drain the, you know, the liquid off, but I feel that it is quite nice. Of course, we won't take the balanced ones below. We took the ones on top. You can also drain it back. So that's quite good mix of fruits in here. Maybe we let it drain for a bit. Okay, leave the liquid. It's nice to have them a bit moist instead of draining everything out. Okay. Put it back here. What I do is I add a little bit of flour to this fruit. The idea is about just 2 tablespoons. The idea is so that the fruit don't actually sink to the bottom when you bake it. So say about 2 tablespoons. Hey baby. Okay. There you go. So you just mix up with the fruits. Then we add, oops, another thing, a bit of salt. The salt will bring up the flavor actually. Okay, now we add in the fruit. You see, the last time I have actually, you know, preserved this fruit with rum. And I also add in the nuts, walnuts, whatever nuts you fancy. Actually, I'm using walnut and almond here today. But the thing is, I soak it so that I get the rum flavor in all of this. But then, you know, of course, the nuts after soaking is a bit soft, right? So at this point, you can add in some fresh ones, fresh walnuts. And some almond, so then you get them crunchy as you eat the cake. Okay, so we're going to put into the tray and then we're going to bake it. So there you go. Okay, so we have mixed all this now. So we're going to put in the baking tray. I have left some fruits here because I like to see these fruits at the top. Unlike conventional, a lot of traditional fruit cake, right? It's like you see nothing at the top. So I prefer during this festive season, you know, at least you open up when it's a gift. People open up and they see these lovely colors. So that's why this fruit cake, I did not put in any molasses because the molasses will make the fruit cake look really, really dark. So here we are. Going to put them into the molds, the pan. I have already greased the pans. So you can use any shape pans, alright? You can use round ones. I personally do not prefer round ones, especially giving away, because packing it a bit difficult and also cutting it also a bit difficult. For me, I think these rectangular ones are really lovely. It's so easy. So for them to cut as well, and also I think for boxing up, it's really easy. So here I have enough for 2. Just ensure that you clean up everything. Nothing is wasted, because a lot of tender loving care, right, into making all this. Okay. The other thing is, remember so here they are, okay? So what you do is you bake them at 160 degrees Celsius for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Well, because there are a lot of fruits up here, so after 1 hour, put an aluminium foil, right? Cut it and place it at the top, and then you bake it for another 20 minutes so that the fruits at the top will not burn. Okay, and after that, you will see the product. I hope you will be happy. This is the one I done earlier. Don't you think they look beautiful? Yeah. So okay, after you have rested it in the baking tray for cool it down for about half an hour or so, then you use the same pick. You make randomly some holes, and then you pour in some of your rum again, or you can also pour in this. Remember the juices from the fruits, the dry fruits and the rum, or you can use a brush and brush it and glaze it over so it look really shiny. So with this fruit cake, you can actually keep for up to 3 months, but you have to first use a cling foil, wrap it up, then outside you probably use an aluminium, and then you can put it in an airtight box. So each time you remove it, open up, and then you can just use some rum and glaze over it. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you have any comments, please let me know. Do write something, so I will see whether what I can do for you for the next CANster. But please do tune in again. Thank you.